Hey guys, TheAireaidLord is here. Welcome back to I guess, just update vlog of sorts. This one's gonna come with a little more purpose, I guess, just because of the name of the video. I had recorded this on another computer, and I seem to have lost the file on that computer, so I guess I'm making this all over again, although the video kind of started out as a Walking Dead rant, and then it expanded into what, I'm actually planning to talk about in this video. So, first and foremost, content on the channel has been very sporadic, to say the least. Obviously, over the past couple of years, really, this has just been something that I come back to when I have free time in my day-to-day operations. Fairly busy with life and just stuff. If you noticed in the vlogs from 2022, 3, the past couple of years, I've made one of these types of vlogs, and when I'm on camera and you can see me in the background, it's a different location every time, and that's just been because of life circumstances. This is my permanent headquarters base for the time being, where I am right now. But it has shifted, just financial stuff, personal stuff. It's all been good overall. And again, I don't usually talk about personal stuff on the YouTube channel. I try to keep the YouTube channel for gaming and The Walking Dead, which is quite literally this channel banner that someone, I forget who made this for me. Someone made this for me many years ago, and that's been my background, and that's what the channel is about. Walking Dead and video gaming. And with the PS5 share feature, when I'm just screwing around playing video games with friends, or I'm just trying to, I have some downtime and I'm just kind of doing whatever, and I encounter something that's funny or noteworthy, I'll clip it and then put a brief version of it on YouTube. So some of the Black Ops 6 stuff has been that. It's funny, I beat the campaign yesterday, and obviously I didn't do a playthrough or any of that stuff, but I don't do playthroughs of games anymore. And I think that's actually what now brings us to the main meat of this video, because the one thing that was kind of keeping this channel alive, so to speak, was the fact that I was still invested in covering The Walking Dead, spin-offs, shows, franchise, etc. And I've discussed this a number of times over the course of this year, because earlier this year we had The Ones Who Live, which wrapped up the story of Rick Grimes, and pretty much was an epilogue and a conclusion to the Walking Dead series as a whole. Yes, we just had Season 2 of Daryl Dixon. We have Season 2 of the Negan-Maggie show coming out next year. And there's already a Season 3 of Daryl Dixon coming out where they go to frickin' London. I can tell you guys right now, not only am I not interested, but I'm not going to be covering that on the... And you've probably noticed that I didn't cover any of the Daryl Dixon Season 2 stuff at all. Just didn't cover it. I just didn't have an interest. Season 1 was okay. I did cover Season 1 when it came out. It was okay, but it was nothing that was making me do, fucking cartwheels off my rooftop for. The season premiere, that first episode of The Ones Who Live, that was a good freaking episode. That was amazing. And again, it's all the complaints that I've discussed about The Ones Who Live, that it was just too short. It was 6 episodes. After waiting 6 years, we got 6 episodes. And sure, it concluded everything, but it took this massive threat, this threat of 200,000 soldiers, groups, people, whatever, in the CRM, the Civic Republic military. They teased it in Fear the Walking Dead. They had an entire spin-off show, World Beyond, two seasons that covered the CRM's research, spin-off characters. Jadis was in it. There was so much done to build up to this point. It was a massive build-up to the not only the return of Rick, but like the introduction of potentially the biggest villain, bigger than Negan, bigger than the Commonwealth, of any villain we had ever seen in The Walking Dead. And it was over not even 2 months into it. It was done, it was concluded. They beat them in the most rushed, quick way possible. And there's nothing open to interpretation. Rick and Michonne got home. Rick reunited with his kids. The story is over. And Andrew Lincoln seems like he's wiped his hands clean of it. Sure, there might be, like, when the Daryl Dixon show is, like, finally over, is there a potential that Rick makes a cameo and they have, like, a big bro hug? Sure, okay, maybe that'll happen. But is that worth watching all these additional episodes of Daryl Dixon, which, from listening to other people, seems like it had mixed reviews? Like, just a lot of the same stuff that, like, again, now that the CRM is dead, like, I don't have as much interest in this series. I just don't. Like, I feel like it ended. It ended this year when Rick's story... I mean, this is the guy that we started out with in the very first episode in 2010. We followed his journey. He left in season 9. We knew he was going to come back in some epic form. We didn't know how. We waited. We got 6 episodes. They were good, but it was just wrapped up and done way too quickly. And I don't know if it was because of constraints on the budget. I don't know if it's because of Andrew Lincoln said, hey, listen, I'm only coming back for these 6. This isn't like a full-time commitment thing. Once I do this, that's it. I'm not really sure. But all I know is that they hit these great, big, record-breaking numbers. And, you know, they interviewed Scott Gimple about it, and now it's done. Like, the show is just going to fizzle out. I don't know what the ratings were for Daryl Dixon Season 2, because that's the first piece of new Walking Dead content since The Ones Who Live ended. So, I don't know what those ratings look like, or, like, where that is. But just when I remember watching it back in late March, April, it felt like a conclusion. It was the end of Rick's story. He made it home. He defeated the CRM. General Beale was killed. Like, it was all just done so quickly. These were characters in a group that had so much more life to it. And it felt kind of like how the Commonwealth was rushed, in a sense. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. It was still good. Like, Rick was still his core character, and he still stuck to who he was. This wasn't like Game of Thrones where we were character assassinating Daenerys and the Night King. Like, sure, like, the CRM kind of got Night Kinged by being this big, powerful faction that was just, you know, destroyed in the blink of an eye. But, like, the characters weren't annihilated. Like, Rick and Michonne stayed true to who they were, and it wrapped up their story in the best way for them. Maybe universe-wise it sucked because it leaves nothing open to interpretation, and it took a group that was so threatening and just killed them off in the matter of seconds. But, you know, for our main characters, it was good. But to get back to the main point, I'm just not interested really in following the content anymore. And I don't know, for my fans who have stuck with me just to see my Walking Dead opinions, or just anyone who just binges my content off and on, it's an unfortunate thing to say, but, like, I just, you know, I do like, you know, next to Rick, Negan is my favorite character, so, like, I might tune in to the Negan-Maggie show, just to, I do want to see the conclusion to Negan's story. Like, I'm assuming they'll probably do multiple seasons of that, too. So, Negan is, like, you know, he's like the Joker of the series, he's the foil to Rick. It would be cool to see Negan and Rick reunite once this whole New York conflict is resolved. So who knows? It's possible. So, you know, I guess off and on, but, like, I'm not going to be, like, day of dedicated, like, going and being like, oh, I'm going to watch it and do reviews. And I just think my time doing that stuff has kind of expired. And, like, I've been obviously off and on with channel content for a long time, just because, again, life has gotten busy. I have other obligations. There's other people in my life now that I'm responsible for, like in terms of people that live here. Obviously, I'm making this vlog when there's nobody else home, but there's obligations that I have now that are different. That when I was in high school and college, and I was kind of just a lone wolf, I was either living with my parents or just, kind of, trekking through life, on my own terms. It was easier to do that, but now, like, things have changed a lot. And as I've mentioned a couple times on the channel, I haven't brought any, like, large, like, awareness to it because there's still contractual legal things going on with it. The fact that I am getting a book published, that I have agented representation, which is something that, writers could spend 60, 70 years of their career trying to find and don't get. And I was lucky enough, through a series of circumstances and just having a strong product, was able to acquire that. And, now I'm at the stage of which firm's is gonna take it and what they offer us. But this is all external from the channel. I've often gone back and forth on how I use this channel, or if I use this channel to promote any of that stuff, because there's like, my life is on this channel. Like, from the moment I was 16 years old in 2010, making a tutorial video for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood on how to get the Desmond Miles skin, from that moment all the way to the present, there's been video game content, there's been convention content, there's been some football content where I talk about my love for the New England Patriots. Obviously, there's been cooperative content with different YouTubers, some of them really big and infamous, and other ones just small YouTubers that I know personally. Obviously, it then evolved into The Walking Dead and some of the reaction videos. I went to a Walking Dead convention. There is so much archived on this channel, and it's fun. It's a fun, like, it'll be so cool in the years to come to go back and look at, like, playthroughs of games when I was trying to play all the games, and I remember 2011 and 2012 and a little bit of 2013 was when I did that, and just being dedicated to doing full playthroughs start to finish. And then when I got to college and couldn't really do that, and it evolved into covering The Walking Dead, really seriously, like every Sunday, recording the episode, getting my reaction in the frame and XSplit. The evolution has been fun. From doing this as a Machinima partner, you could see the little Machinima logo back when they existed. This was obviously made before they went defunct. But there's just been so many evolutions to my life. I've grown up over the course of 14 years on this YouTube channel, and that's no small thing. And it's easy to just go oldest and look at all the videos that are on the channel from over the years. But I think at some point I do have to move on, and if I'm going to brand myself as an author whenever my book is ready for public consumption, I do think there might need to be a better venue for that, whether it's a new YouTube channel or, hell, utilizing other, TikTok and Instagram and some of these other social media outlets are better for consumers of books. Now, there's a lot of popular book-based YouTube channels on YouTube, and I've actually done some book reviews on this channel. I did one for a book who I knew like the agent and the publisher. I knew a lot of the people involved with the production of it, the Grand Theft AI book. Then last year, I remember I reviewed The Fairy Tale by Stephen King, just because as a fan of Stephen King, I hated the book so much, and I needed to just get my opinion out there. And yeah, I've done a couple of books, but, like, it's been more video games than The Walking Dead. Like, I do all sorts of media. Like, I consume all of it. I consume books, TV shows, video games, movies, podcasts, whatever. Like obviously I'm a creator. I write, I create videos, I create written stories. Like, that's my MO. So, I just think there has to be an evolution at some point. And this will be a reference point, like, hey, like, me, the content creator, is here. And this isn't to say that, and I don't want this to be like, oh, is the channel, like, am I never making videos again? Is the channel shutting down? More likely than not, you're going to probably see some random Call of Duty or some video game thing where it's like, oh, like, this was a cool moment. I just wanted to upload it real quick. Or if there isn't, like, I might do an announcement for people who like me here. I might say, hey, like, my book is ready for consumption. Or here's this other channel where I'm going to talk about it. But I have to broaden myself from this image as, like, here I'm known as the TheAireaidLord. Like, as an author, I'd be known by my full name. I wouldn't be known as some, you know. Then again, if anyone knows, the TheAireaidLord is the name is that's the name of the villain from the very, very first book I wrote start to finish. Self-published it in 2011, and then I rewrote the whole thing in college. But the TheAireaids are a group of aliens in this book I wrote, and the TheAireaidLord is just the head of the master, the lord, the main dude. He's the main dude. So, you know, and I think the origins of that, like, I was a big fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender at the time, and, you know, the Fire Lord, so I took, you know, the aliens, merged it, TheAireaidLord, so, you know, there you go. Again, completely made up. The name TheAireaid is not in the English dictionary. It was just completely made up. But if anyone was ever curious, that's the origin. So the origins go back to my writing, which is ironic. Like, my writing roots is what created a name that I then used for video game and Walking Dead based content, which, you know, I guess is just ironic. But I've obviously enjoyed making the dedicated content for all of you guys, and I don't want, you know, again, anyone to think that this is just me abandoning the channel, because, like I said, I will still have different footage that will come out from just random stuff. But it's not going to be scheduled. Like, just don't anticipate any Walking Dead news that I'm going to cover it. In fact, there are a lot of old school Walking Dead YouTubers that have come to this point. Trev's Chan 2 was one of the most prominent Walking Dead voices that I followed for many years, and he has a kid now, and he's not able to make consistent content for his channel, and I respect that. And in many ways, like, I don't have a kid yet, but, you know, that stage of my life will be coming in the next couple of years, and so, like, I understand what he's going through. Like, I'm in the early stages of some of, you know, not the kid, but other stuff related to that. Like, having a significant other and some of the responsibilities that come with that. So, you know, I understand. I get it. And so now you're seeing some of these old school YouTubers moving on, and you now have, there's some new people who I've seen sprung up. And, you know, sorry, I'm getting really hot in this room for some reason. It's like November and raining and cold out. I don't know how that's possible. But anyway, there are new YouTubers that are tackling Walking Dead content. I know there's one guy, Jeremy Takes, which he's really blown up in popularity. He's got good production value. I enjoy his opinions. I'd recommend, you know, if you want any consistent type of Walking Dead content, he's a really good voice. So I would say Trev's Chan, but Trev is pretty much doing what I'm doing by, you know, not leaving YouTube, but just not doing it as much and just kind of stepping away and coming back only when there's, you know, large moments of free time or something just sparks the creative itch. So, you know, again, like, I know viewership on the channel kind of fluctuates here between people that want to see old, you know, like, if they just want to see a piece of game content, or they want to hear me talk about something with The Walking Dead. I'm not sure, because, again, my footage, even these past couple of years, has been very sporadic. My uploads have just been, you know, all over the place, really 2019 was really the last year, like, I was, like, really consistently doing uploads, because then when COVID hit and the pandemic hit, that's pretty much when I stopped doing reaction videos. And then once I stopped doing reaction videos, like those were the videos that brought in like my biggest viewership, because some people just wanted to watch the friggin' episode, but other people did want to see how I was reacting to it. So that was when I just went back to vlogs, but it obviously the relationship changed a little bit because it didn't have the other, like, really the Walking Dead stuff was like vlogs. I remember my schedule for season 9. It was vlogs and it was reaction videos, and I would just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then in the off season I'd make more vlogs, and then the Walking Dead season would start. So, and again, part of this is just because the main Walking Dead show is over. It ended in 2022. We had the epilogue with Rick's 6 episodes. Those are done. And now we have these spin-off shows that are spinning their wheels because it's just this... It just feels like superfluous content, or it's just like, okay, fine. Like, Daryl and Carol are kicking ass in France. Like, what else, and maybe, there's some variant stuff with the walkers, but like what else? Like, I'm not, getting anything from this, really. Like, I'm not getting that extra something that I should be getting. So yeah, like, I don't know, like, I know also sometimes my viewership stems from people that still want my opinion on what DSP Darkside Phil is doing, which, again, if you haven't noticed, I don't involve myself with his content anymore. To my knowledge, he's still doing YouTube. It's funny how I just made the comment about YouTubers who, they did it for a number of years, and then life circumstances, they moved on. Like myself, like Trev. It's funny, like, Phil has... I don't know how he keeps it going. I really don't. But somehow he finds a way. But again, like, I don't follow his content anymore. Not up on really anything that's kind of going on. I mean, people jump in and like leave comments on my videos asking different stuff about him every now and then, but it's just like, I don't know, like, at some point it's like, why does it matter, right? Like, there's a lot of other stuff going on. Like, I don't know, I feel like there has to be new YouTubers at some point. Like 10 years ago, right? Like, when he started losing popularity and people were jumping on the hate wagon, like, that was 10 years ago. Like, I don't know. I just think at some point it does make sense to, like, evolve. I mean, maybe if it's a clown show 24/7 and you just want to get entertainment value from it, I mean, sure, you can get your entertainment from wherever you want, but, like, I don't have the answers people are looking for when they reference videos from, like, videos that I did with him cooperatively or at conventions or just, like, random stuff. And they ask me questions about those, and I'm like, you want me to answer questions from videos when I was in high school? Like, do you? Like, a lot of it's outdated, If anyone in my life said, hey, can you tell me about this thing you said when you were in high school? I'd be like, well, I have evolved as a person a lot since then, so I don't know if it's really relevant for you for me to give you my opinion. But, I mean, whatever. I respond to if it's a question I can, like, quickly answer, I'll just be like, yes, I did this, or what I did this. But, again, I think that's also part of it. Like, my name, TheAireaidLord, it's known a bit in that DSP Gaming Darkside Phil circle from the stuff that I did all those years ago. So I think that's another reason why rebranding myself, in a sense, probably makes sense. Just because, like, again, it's different. It's not YouTube videos. This is my own creative work. And again, I don't have a release date on it. There's a lot of contractual stuff going on. So I don't have details to give you guys. I probably will try to make some type of video to talk about it, like, when there's a link to purchase it and it's that black and white, absolutely. But there's nothing like that right now. So the publishing process is, for anyone who knows or is involved or has tried, is long, complicated, and is a test of your patience. It's almost like trying to be an actor and break into Hollywood. Like, it's not an easy industry. The talent acquisition industry is not easy to break into. I guarantee you. It's not. All right? And the fact that I am as far as I am is astonishing. Again, like there are people in their 70s trying to release an autobiography who still can't get agented representation. It's difficult. It's hard, you know? So that's been my dream, you know, even like when I was doing YouTube. Like obviously that's why I self-published a book in 2011. Like doing writing full time has been a goal of mine for years upon years. And I have an opportunity, you know, obviously my first book is, you know, not going to be, you know, enough to be on a livable wage, but it's a start. So that's kind of where I'm focusing my attention. If the opportunity comes up for me to make videos or content, or again, you might just see random gameplay stuff uploaded. Now, this year has been disappointing. Black Ops 4 is the only game I bought all year because nothing else interests me. However, next year we have GTA. Well, if the release date doesn't change, knowing Rockstar, but we have GTA 6, Borderlands 4, and the Ghost of Tsushima sequel. And I normally only buy games that I'm interested in, or I've played the other ones, and it's like those, I don't typically do new games. I stick to ones that I know. But I played all the Borderlands, the Ghost of Tsushima. Obviously, I had a countdown to Grand Theft Auto 5 on my channel, so there's a playthrough of every single Grand Theft Auto, including 5, 1 through 5, all the spin-offs on my channel. So, yeah, I mean, there's probably going to be video game footage of GTA 6, me just screwing around. My friends, I still have college friends that I'm still very, very close with who play video games from time to time. So I'm sure if we find a coordinated time, we'll do that. I mean, it's not happening now because there just has been such a drought of gaming content. I'm sure people who like different subgenres would disagree, but from a mainstream standpoint, that's kind of where we're at. I mean, look at the Game of the Year choices. I mean, like people haven't heard of half these titles. So all right, guys. I don't know how long this is because the frames encoded doesn't really give a time, but whatever. I'm gonna upload this and not lose the file like I did with the other one that I made on the other computer I was using. So thank you all. This is not goodbye. This is just kind of putting a pause on like any Walking Dead, just any consistency, you know. This is just me saying, like, you know, there's only so many times I can come on here when I talk about The Walking Dead. I say the same thing every time about Rick story being over, the CRM stuff ended too quickly, the ones who live should have been longer. Like I'm just reiterating something that's already ended months ago at this point. And I have no interest in what fucking Daryl and Negan are up to. So, you know, maybe Negan more than Daryl, but it's I don't know. I honestly think that once Negan and Daryl spinoffs are over, I think they should just end the franchise. Like, what are you keeping it around for? Like, is it really making, like, money? I don't see. I mean, it's obviously AMC is clinging on to it because it's still, like, you know, it's still making them residual money. I don't know how much it could be making them, but at some point, you gotta move on. And this is me moving on. I've been with The Walking Dead for over 10 years. I started watching it in spring of 2014, halfway through season 4. And I stuck with it all the way through the first seasons of Negan, Maggie, Daryl, and The Ones Who Live. And that's officially where I'm calling it quits. So, alright guys, thank you. And I hope, I mean, this might be my last vlog with you guys for 2024, and it's honestly pretty, you know, good to end on this. So, yeah, if I don't see you all, have a happy Thanksgiving, Christmas, any of the holidays coming up, and we'll go from there. All right, everyone. TheAireaidLord, signing out. Peace.